Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi. My name is Marla.
Oh,
What
nice.
is your name?
Yeah, I'm Ali, and I live in Seoul, South Korea. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. All right. I live in Oklahoma in the
Uh-huh.
United States.
Yes.
That's the state just above Texas. So it's in
Mm-hmm.
the middle of the United States, but towards the south. Oklahoma generally is considered one of the hot states in the United States.
Uh, yeah, I think
So I see that you've been
you
on
are
camp.
in hot season, right? You are in hot season,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we we
Mm-hmm.
are, except this year things are not quite going according to the normal pattern. So
Uh,
our summertime temperatures often for weeks will run around 43 degrees. But
mm-hmm. Wow.
this summer, the hottest I've seen so far is 36, and that
Mm-hmm.
was at the very beginning of June. And
Yes.
since then, we've had a series of thunderstorms,
Mm-hmm.
and the hottest temperature I've seen since is 34, and that was yesterday. So
Uh,
our temperatures have been in the 20s and the low 30s.
mm-hmm.
Today, it's only going to be 32. So global warming
Yeah.
it really has messed things up so
Yeah.
that the weather patterns are not at all normal. I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be happy. I am
Mm-hmm.
thrilled to not be so hot, but that means
Uh,
somebody else is hot that wasn't expecting it. So it doesn't make it a good thing, but I'm really relieved to have cooler weather. I've been swimming a lot this summer, and it makes it a lot nicer. Yeah,
Yeah, nowadays we do not live without air conditioner. Oh, I
exactly.
yeah, it's so. This season is the most hottest season in my country. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I've lived here for 6 years now, and the first 4 years I spent without air conditioning.
mm-hmm,
I honestly thought I was going to die. I got nothing accomplished. I had the fan, a big pedestal fan right here, and I
mm-hmm.
sat right here.
Yeah, I before this lesson, I turned off the uh, fan because fan noisy is so loud, so that's noisy avoid my lesson. So
Uh,
yeah.
so you're cooking. Now you're hot. I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you, though. I appreciate that. Uh, I see that there's a lesson up here on Cambly. Is that what you'd like to work on today?
Yes.
All right, let's do this. So here, ooh, what is a volunteer project and why do
Hmm.
people volunteer?
It seems doing something voluntarily to help others. And why? Mm, because by helping others, we can maintain our community.
Oh, I like that.
Mm.
I like that.
I prepare
I,
uh, this seat
I'm
before.
impressed. I'm very impressed. I think there are also other reasons why people volunteer. I think your answer really is why people should volunteer.
Hmm.
But why do they actually volunteer? If we're talking about human nature, A
Yes.
lot of the time, people volunteer just so that other people see
Mm-hmm.
that they're volunteering. See, look how good I am. I'm helping all these people. Aren't I a good person?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at least in the
Exactly.
United
Mm-hmm.
States, we see that quite a bit. Um, and there are plenty of people who volunteer just because it hurts them
Mm-hmm.
to see someone else suffering or in need, having problems. So
Mm-hmm.
they just really want to do whatever they can to fix the problem. There
Yes.
really are a lot of good people out there. Um, and then there are people who volunteer because they really wish,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a good thing, I think, but they really wish someone would help them. And the
Yeah.
only way they can justify wanting that is if they're willing to help someone else. I think maybe I fall into that category. Um, and my life is not so terrible, but there have been plenty of times when I just wish somebody had helped me out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And how can I do that if I'm not willing to help someone else? I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like it is a what a good, reasonable person should be doing, helping other people. If we
Yeah.
help each other, then we'll all be better.
Yes.
Do you do you give? And I think this means money, but it
Mm-hmm.
might mean personal belongings also. Do you give to charity?
Yeah, I did it, but not many times.
Yeah, I or I should say, especially my youngest daughter. She She thinks of that first. Let me put it that way. Before she decides um, to just throw something away because she doesn't want it anymore, she will look at it and decide if it still has a good long life left, then she will donate it so that
Mm-hmm.
somebody else can make use of it. But she doesn't just throw it away. She makes sure to pass things on to someone else. So I'm pretty proud of her for that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you volunteer regularly?
No, no, I don't. I'm
Uh,
ashamed,
oh no, no, that's fine.
but
Um,
I will do that in the future.
I have 3 kids, and when my kids were growing up, I really wanted to impress upon them how important it is to give back. If you are having a good life, if you have
Mm-hmm.
food to eat and clothing to wear and all the things you need, it's really important to give
Yes.
back to your community. And it doesn't necessarily mean giving things away, but giving of your time and your effort. I just really felt strongly, and I
Mm-hmm.
still do, that that's really important. If
Yes.
if you have if you ha- you're doing well, then share some of your extra energy.
Mm-hmm.
So while my kids were growing up, we were involved in all sorts of things doing that.
Uh-huh.
Once I retired, I moved to Oklahoma and I
Mm-hmm.
found a group. I was retired. I had extra time on my hands, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought this is an opportunity for me. I
Yes.
should, if I want to become part of this new community, because I moved, then I need to volunteer, be a part of the community, find out what the community is. And so I joined this group. It's called Civitan. and it's an
Wow, amazing.
international group. It's really a
Mm-hmm.
great group.
Yeah.
But and I really believe in what they're doing. But the local group, it was just full of what I was saying earlier. See how good I am? They didn't volunteer because they cared about anybody. They volunteered to get attention, to
Uh-huh.
posture, to or in some the case of some of the people, because it's a smallish group, then you're talking about group dynamics. So some of the people actually volunteer in order to be able to boss other people around.
Yes.
They actually are only there so that they can be a chief in a small pond, a
Mm-hmm.
big fish in a
Mm-hmm.
small pond. So it's not about the volunteering at all. It's not about the people who need help at all. It's just
Mm-hmm.
about them. And it was so bad. My daughter, we lived together, my youngest daughter and I.
Yeah.
She really got angry. She quit, and then she was mad at me
Mm-hmm.
because I hadn't quit yet. And
Yeah.
it became a
Uh-huh.
question of if I don't quit, then I'm endorsing their behavior.
Mm-hmm.
When I was still struggling really hard to want to help the people that we're supposed to be helping.
Yes.
But my daughter, she wasn't wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't. But she made it impossible to keep volunteering. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm older. I have been through the wars a few times, and you're going to always find these kinds of people in any kind of group situation. So just let it go and keep on focusing on what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I I couldn't do that with my daughter being so angry, and she was more important, far more important than
Mm-hmm.
the group. So I quit.
Yeah.
Um, she wasn't wrong. She was actually right. But, life isn't made to order. It's just not always nice and neat. You have to put up with difficult people sometimes. It does take the pleasure out of it. And so that volunteering should be something that makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it didn't. So she wasn't wrong to quit, but um, I do like to volunteer, I think. I really do enjoy it. There
Uh-huh.
must be some. So here we go. Vocabulary. Since you've got exhaustive notes, I love it. Um, I'm just going to have you read each word, and then if you have questions about any of them, ask me.
Yes. Me first. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Admiration. The feeling of respecting someone or something. Community. The people living in one particular area. Characteristic. A typical quality of someone or something. Individual. A single person, especially when compared to the group they belong to. To donate, to give money or goods to help a person or organization. Charity, an
Sure.
organization, charity.
Sure. Yes. Good.
hmm Yeah, charity, an organization whose purpose is to give money, food, or help to those who need it.
Any questions about any of those words?
No,
All right.
I understood all things.
All right. So if you read the light blue color, because I
Yes.
have curly hair, I'll read the dark blue.
Mm-hmm.
She's got curly hair. I've got curly hair.
Yes, okay. Did you watch the news last night? I have such an admiration for that art character who is volunteering in his community.
I agree. It's characteristic of people who think about the others and not only about themselves. This is not well written. It is a characteristic of
Mm.
people who think about others. So we wouldn't say the, and we would add a to
Uh-huh.
have this be correctly written.
Uh-huh. It is
Um,
a characteristic of people who think about others, right?
yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Good job.
Sometimes the Cambly curriculum has a few problem and long content.
This is true, but the old curriculum Campbell used to have had a lot more problems.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot less in this curriculum. So they are working at improving it. And I have seen some of the slides change a little bit
Yes, yes,
since they brought this curriculum out. So I know that they're still trying to improve it. So
yeah.
it's kind of
Mm.
nice.
But that's not problem. But that's no no problem to learning English.
Well, I think it's the best reason to do these things with a tutor because then they can see what the problem is and correct it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you would learn the wrong thing. So this is with a tutor,
Yes.
it's fine. So,
Mm-hmm.
can you read what he says?
Yes. Yes. Sadly, some governments in general are careless with people in need, and we have to help our community.
Hmm. Well, I agree governments should do more, but many things can be done by us as individuals. Simple things matter, like donating old clothes to charity. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is an important question. And in the United States, it's a question we continually ask ourselves.
Yeah.
As long as there's been the United States from the very beginning,
Mm-hmm.
because we started out as this small little group of communities that got bigger and bigger as we discovered more of the country and took
Yeah.
over
Yes.
more of the continent, not the
Mm-hmm.
country, the continent. Um, there has been this kind of tug of war between what the government should do. What is the role of government? What is the purpose of government versus what should people do for themselves or what should be up to people to choose to do or not for themselves. So this question, is it the government that should be providing all these services or is it the people? So in the United States, we still have many, many, many politicians who believe
Mm-hmm.
that this is not the role of government at all, that this is the role and purpose of things like churches
Yeah.
and and other community, not necessarily charity, but it should be the role of people as individuals to make sure that everybody has what they need, families,
Mm-hmm.
churches, blah, blah, blah. And yet there are a lot of other people that say, no, it is the purpose of government to make sure that everybody at least has the basic necessities of
Yeah.
life. I I don't know, what do you think? what is the role of government here?
Hmm. Oh, actually, I don't think about it deeply, but I just agree with your opinion because all over the country's problem and situation is are um, similar.
Yeah. Um, I think it's also kind of a conflict between
Mm-hmm.
um, the capitalist system. If really truly capitalism versus socialism, is it people who work really hard
Yeah.
and it has to be said in life also have good luck. They are the people who are going to have more
Mm-hmm.
in in the at least in the United States in our current system. You work hard, you have good luck, you'll get ahead so you can afford to buy more of the things you want to have. And if you didn't have that opportunity, why would you work really hard? That's what people think. If everybody gets stuff, why would you work hard? Because you're already getting what you need. So it actually diminishes the productivity of the nation if everybody gets a certain level of government care. Why work for it? Um, and I think, there's some real truth to that. But at the same time, and I feel like this is the role of government. We should, all of us, expect a basic standard of health care.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't be if you're rich or poor,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not you can get health care. So there are some things that I really do kind of lean towards the more socialistic aspects that it is the role of government to make sure that everybody has food. Maybe not the fanciest, best food, but everybody deserves to have food for every day.
Yes.
If you want to have tastier food, better food, then you go work for it. But I think in a prosperous nation,
Yes.
not a struggling nation, a prosperous nation like yours or like mine, it is the role of government to make sure basic services are met for
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that's my
Yeah.
perspective.
I totally agree.
So here on the next slide, the words in the boxes are often used with other words. So they're wanting you to make sentences using the words in the circles.
Hmm. Char- charity, charity,
Hmm.
charity. Hmm. Ca- I don't know what I don't know these words means.
Catholic. The
Ah,
it's
Catholic, Catholic.
uh-huh,
Ah, religion,
uh-huh.
right?
Yes.
Then I
Yes.
know, I know. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Um, Catholic, 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 Catholic volunteer, Catholic volunteer. Um, has has Catholic Catholic volunteers volunteers have to have to have to donation. Ah, that's so hard to combination that words.
Um, so just for fun,
Mm-hmm.
I I like to have fun with these kinds of things and see if I can. put all those words in one sentence. So I would say something like, um, members of the Catholic community.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, how about this? Members of the international Catholic community
Yeah.
tend to organize charity events in
Mm-hmm.
order to raise money from their members to give to charity so that students, especially Catholic students, can go to college.
Mm-hmm.
I like to put them
Yeah,
all in
yeah,
one
yeah.
sentence.
Yeah. Likewise, South Koreans Catholic is same your
Yeah.
country, same with your country.
Uh, yeah, think that I just have fun with these, but exactly. So, what is the purpose of of charity? It's really is to usually raise money. They
Mm-hmm.
really don't. I think charities are discovering it's a consuming of their resources to accept donations that are not money. Because then, so we used to do this with Civitan. We would encourage people to give coats to Civitan, but
Mm-hmm.
then the coats would have to be, you'd have to make sure they were clean. You'd have to make sure they were in good repair.
Yeah.
You'd have to make sure there's nothing left in pockets and things like that. They'd be labor intensive. A lot of work would have to go into handling the coats before they could be given away.
Mm-hmm.
It's much simpler if people donate money and then you can use the money to go out and buy brand new coats that you can then give away. So money really is the thing that charities nowadays are looking for.
Yeah.
Especially, and this is a huge issue, is
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of charities, the money that they make is spent on the charity, not on the people the charity is for.
Yes,
It's
yes.
spent on administrative costs.
Yeah, yeah, there is
Well,
a big problem and huge problem in South Korea, like your
yeah,
country. Yeah.
we have that problem big time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I hate to say it, but especially the money that goes through churches. It really makes the the minister. I mean, not all ministers are like this, but for
Mm-hmm.
sure, um, definitely, we have churches in the United States where the minister is like a millionaire because of donations, and that was never the intent. Because you have people on fixed income, retired people with very little money themselves, but they give away part of what they have for to help other people. Except for it doesn't go to other people; it
Yeah.
goes to the guy and the minister or preacher or whatever. That's a huge problem. That
Yeah.
really is a huge problem.
Actually, I do not trust.
I don't either. I don't either. I would
Yeah.
far rather take a coat off my back and give it to somebody
Mm-hmm.
on the street corner that's cold than I would to just give money to some group.
Yes.
Yeah. Ah, they want us to do that again with different words.
Yes. More different and more difficult. Oh my. Individual donate. Oh. Hmm. Oh. How can I to connect to that words? Oh my.
You could just make individual sentences like,
How mean.
ah, like oftentimes people with disabilities have to rely on individuals with disabilities have to rely on an organization or a group to help them